direct. No, this is Them Talks Crazy. So let's get it started, right? What's happening? What's happening, my God? What's happening with you?
Chilling, man. What's going on?
Ain't too much, man. Glad for you to stop by.
Yep.
Big fact, big fact. So, man, we're gonna go ahead and let you introduce yourself, man. Let the world know who you are, man, and where they can find your music and all that good stuff.
Named Marlo G, recording artist right now, currently based in Columbia, South Carolina. Caribbean roots, you know what I'm saying? Been up and down the East Coast. So my style is like a mixture of all of that, a little bit of traditional NY style, a little down south, you know what I'm saying? The Caribbean stuff is definitely in, you know, like a foundation to kind of everything I do music wise. Music is everywhere. You stream music at G, just search it up, man. Marlog. And you can see I got a pretty good discography out there. I've been working on music. It's been over a decade now. I've been trying to stay consistent and putting projects out every year, things like that. So got some stuff out there, man. You can definitely hear the growth in it too. So if you get a chance, definitely check me out, Marlo G. Yeah.
Marlo G, you heard it here. So, right? So we're gonna kick it off because you just said, I mean, you've been up and down the East Coast or whatever, and you Caribbean and all that. So how did, you know what I'm saying, those different states transform your music, your style? What each one gave to you differently?
Different avenues on how to present my music or just kind of different flows. I think a lot of my beat selection, especially early on, were a lot more like New York boom bap type stuff. And that's just kind of like what my introduction into hip hop was like that real New York, like early 2000s, mid 2000s New York. So early on, just that sound, like those type of beats were like a heavily influence on me. But moving to the South gave me the ability to like work on my flow a little bit. You know what I'm saying? And kind of gave me the chance to like experiment with different type of beats and really work on my flow. So I think the biggest part about it is just being able to have an ear when it comes to like picking beats. But definitely, I would say my flow, man. Moving around has allowed me to kind of like pick a little bit from here, pick a little bit from there, and just kind of mix it all together. So my sound is like a lot of times people, when they hear me, they'll be like, oh, I hear a little bit of this and that, or I hear a little bit of that. But I always try to present myself in a way where it's like, okay, this is something that you probably never heard before. You know what I'm saying? Just kind of like how I mix and match everything together.
The help first inspire you on this music journey?
I would say my inspirations were probably, like the kind of the ones everybody go to, like the Nas's, and you know what I'm saying. For me, honestly, it's Nas was a big influence. Styles P was a big influence on me from just like a listening perspective. Like those are the type of people I like to listen to because I like the stories that they would tell. The perspective where you kind of like you that guy, but you're not really like the top guy. And I always appreciated like those type of stories because you look at the locks and everybody, the first person that comes to mind is Jadakiss. You know what I'm saying? Like he's like the top dog in that group. But I appreciate the stories from somebody that's like, what I'm saying, that second or that third, because I think a lot of times those stories kind of go unheard, and it's a lot of gems in that. And it's kind of why I gravitated to those guys a little bit. But as I started like writing and actually like making music myself, one of the biggest influences on me personally, especially when it came to like style and flow, or just like having the confidence, like be myself on tracks, I would say it's Currency. Um, Spitter has definitely been like a big influence, not just from like a fan perspective, but just the way that he approaches music, how he's been able to kind of like maintain, the longevity, and then just like the freedom to like just be a little different, you know what I'm saying? But still keep it authentic, be yourself, you know what I'm saying? And just like create stuff that people actually want to listen to.
That music wasn't just a hobby for you.
Something I was doing for fun, something I was doing with the homies, but like the more I did it, the more I kind of realized that like, I had a bit of a talent for it. So I would say somewhere in the middle, maybe like around 2019-ish. So maybe like the last 5, 6 years, where I was kind of able to mix like the fun and the passion I was having with actual like a product that I felt like people were really being receptive towards. And then at that point, it was just kind of like, all right, like let's not play around with this thing no more. You know what I'm saying? Like if you really got a talent for it, you enjoy doing it, and people want to hear you, let's figure out a way to kind of like mix all those things together and be like more professional. You know what I'm saying? Like actually kind of turn it into a business. So I would say like around 2019, 2020 is kind of where I made that shift from just like, oh, this is just something I do for fun to like, okay, yo, let me start, like really putting some motion behind this thing. Let me start trying to book some shows. Let me start, you know what I'm saying, trying to branch out and reach out to people and things of that nature.
Actually put it in your head to be like, you know what? We always doing it. So who was the first one to say, hey, look, go on, take it serious?
In my back, man, he was just kind of like, yo, you need to stop playing, bro. Like you've been playing around for a while. He was like, man, I ain't been saying nothing, but you've been playing. And that's just pretty much how he kept it with me. He's like, bro, you just been playing. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, word. Like I just time for me to lock in. But yeah, nah, shout out to DJ Jones, man. It's been my homie for years, man. Probably ever since I started rapping, recording, you know what I'm saying? And he'd been there pretty much every step of the way, you know what I'm saying? Just kind of being like a support system at first. But then after a while, he was just like, bro, like you need to stop playing, you know what I'm saying? And when he sat me down and he told me that, just that simple, he's like, bro, you need to stop playing. But it was like those few words carried like a whole story behind it. You know what I'm saying? And especially it coming from him, somebody who's seen me through all the stages. You know what I'm saying? It was just like, I. If anybody that's gonna tell me that I need to stop playing, is that guy right there. Yes, it was definitely him, man. He was the one.
You describe your music, right, as soul rap. What does that mean to you?
Something that I feel like soul rap is the type of music that you can listen to to help you get through the day. Um, and I ain't talking about like nothing super extravagant where you trying to, you know, flip something, or you know what I'm saying, you about to go on some kind of mission to go pick something up. I'm just talking about like that regular everyday trial and tribulations. I feel like that type of stuff get lost in translation, man.
It could be your high or your low point. No, go and give us a story about it. So that's how, you know what I'm saying, people could dig deeper into you. Bless the people with a story about you.
Get from playing around to actually taking it serious. My daughter's mom, she had been fighting cancer for a few years at that point. So early 2019 is when she kind of passed away. And yeah, man, it was tough. You know what I'm saying? Like transitioning from, like me and her raising my daughter to being like a single parent, you know what I'm saying? Just like dealing with the funeral, putting everything together and everything that just comes with when somebody passes away, man. It's just like it was a lot that was happening all at once. And people knew, you know what I'm saying? Like they knew about the story, but it was kind of hard to like put into words how it was really making me feel in that moment. And a lot of the music that came out, within the years of that was just really me just trying to talk about overcoming, but not really just saying like, oh, look, I'm trying to overcome something. It was just like the stories of like, yo, this is what I'm going through right now. These are some of the trials and tribulations. These are some of the things that I'm dealing with. Like, this is how my mindset shifted. This is my new perspective. These are the type of things I'm trying to focus my energy on. And it was a real outlet for me to just talk about stories, like things that I was going through, stuff I was seeing going on around me. Um, and I felt like because it was therapeutic and motivational for me during that time, I think a lot of that was able to kind of like seep into the music. So even when it came to like some of the features that I was choosing, some of the people I would choose to get on tracks with. I remember I did a few tracks during that time with a homie that shout out to my homie Zach Sanders. He plays the saxophone, and just being able to kind of blend some of them sounds together. You know what I'm saying? Just creating something that like kind of touches you on a different level. And then the subject matter that went behind some of those songs, it was just really like a process of like pulling all these different elements and these different aspects from people I had met, you know what I'm saying, through my daughter's mom, folks I had known in my own personal life, and just kind of bringing everything all together. Um, and then, if obviously the people that knew me when I was going through that, they heard the music a little bit different. But I created it in such a way that the people that didn't know me, once they heard it, they wanted to kind of learn about me. You know what I'm saying? So it was just like it was a point where I was able to kind of like bridge the gap between my world, my old world, my new world, you know what I'm saying? And then people that knew me and the people that didn't know
What's up with that record right there, man?
me. But that one, that's like a grown man question. Like what's more important to you? You know what I'm saying? Like once you hit a certain stage in life, like what are you really looking for? You know what I'm saying? Like what really matters to you? You know what I'm saying? So I kind of posed the question, like what's more important, love or respect? But in actuality, you want both. You know, a lot of times, people always make it seem like it got to be this or that. And if it is this or that, then what would you choose? And then once you sit down and you think about it, then at the end of it all, it's just kind of like, well, why not have both? You know what I'm saying? Like, why not put yourself in a position where you can have the love and the respect? Because ultimately, that's what you want. You sitting there trying to choose which one you feel like is more important, but you want both of them. You know what I'm saying? So that's what that love and respect track was about, man. It's about just like growing up, maturing, taking on the responsibilities. You know what I'm saying? Like, and everything that you got to do as a person in order to earn that love and respect from the others that you seek.
We'll hear that, John. Marlo G, here we go. Another day but the dirt. Gotta get it even when it hurts. Living life, gotta know your worth. What's the price? Play double, play nice. Think twice, gotta check it. Live a life you gon' respect and count your blessings. Learn your lessons, otherwise you second down. Not stuff that I'm proud of, but I know about taking down straight up. That's how I grew. To the dude that you knew, to the G that I am. A lot of trials and tribulations, I gotta thank for that. And the women that came before, you know that paved the way. Standing on the back of break, so time I don't got to wait. So time I got to make for what's important. Talking about the future, protect your neck before they do you dirty. From different perspective in your 30s. Are you listening on the mission? Found was missing. I've been with it, I've been taking it, I've been flipping, I've been split it with it. I've been taking it, I've been flipping, I've been split it with it. Go figure, been bad before I got the picture. I'm scouted to move the way that I did. Whole life I've been different, struggling, trying to fit in till I got to the point where I started fitting out. Let my actions speak for me, word of mouth. Let my actions speak for me, word of mouth. From the north to the south, mid to west coast, everywhere that I go. Made moves like a ghost. Gotta follow to the left, and follow before you delete the hope. You been through more for nothing. Put you up, your money, expand your mind, your road. That like staring at the ocean. To really give you perspective, every box that I checked, it just gives me a reference point. Been standing in the front of this battle. All these friends showing me that I can handle what comes next. I don't know. Either way, I'm running out the door. What comes next? I don't know. Either way, I'm running out the door. So that right there was love and respect, man. So, but anyway, right? So we're gonna keep this thing going, right? So we're gonna let the people know, I mean, let this be your shout out one more time, man. Let the people know who you are and where to find your music at.
You can search that up on any streaming service, any streaming site, anywhere you listen to music at. Um, Me, I'm a father, I'm an artist, you know what I'm saying? I'm a husband, I'm a guy, man. I'm a guy that tries to represent the struggle of the everyday guy, you know what I'm saying? That talks about the stories that a lot of time I feel like kind of go unheard, or go kind of like not really paid attention to. I want to represent, you know what I'm saying? I want to represent the people that don't feel like they got representation. I feel like those stories are important to tell. I consider what I do, I call it soul rap, because everything I do is very based in like authenticity, man. I either talk about stuff I've been through personally or stuff I see that's going on around me. I like to be motivational, but not just for the sake of being motivational. I like to give motivation through trials and tribulations, you know what I'm saying? And I feel like if people can learn from my mistakes, then I'm just making the world a little bit wiser. That's what I'm all about, man. I'm trying to each one teach one, you know what I'm saying? Pass on what I got on to the next. I'm just trying to make everybody around me better. You know what I'm saying? That's really what it's all about. I ain't looking for the fame. I'm just looking to try to help somebody at the end of the day, bro.
The biggest challenge as your independent artist career so far starting off.
Trying to figure out how to do it all. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, like I'm a father, you know what I'm saying? I'm a husband. So I take those roles very seriously. You know what I'm saying? Um, So trying to find the time to dedicate my energy and my efforts towards being the best version of myself in all those different aspects. And then also like still remaining like as authentic to myself as possible when I create music. It's so easy to just kind of, you know what I'm saying, like kind of go off the path and talk about what I feel like people want to hear about. Um, so like that struggle right there, I feel like it's kind of been like the toughest thing, especially as I progress in life, I become more successful, you know what I'm saying? I mature. I'm just trying to make sure that I keep my stories as like close to vest as possible. Um, and then outside of that, man, honestly, it's just really finding the time to actually like sit, you know what I'm saying, and come up with these stories and, actually like, put it down on wax and get it out to the people, man. I don't make no excuses. Everybody got stuff going on, but I try to recognize, you know what I'm saying, and be real with like what my trials and my struggles are, you know what I'm saying? And even as I talk about it, like those are the type of things I still try to put in the music as well, because it's just like it happens. You know what I'm saying? Like you might have a dude that want to start up the business, but he's still working a 9 to 5, and then when he come home in the afternoon, he got to take care of X, Y, and Z. It's like I'm trying to give him that motivation to be like, yo, you can find that time. You know what I'm saying? Like you just got to sacrifice on that back end, bro. So it's that's what it's really about, man. It's about just being like, yo, this is how real life works. You know what I'm saying? Like these are the things that's gonna happen to you in real life. You know what I'm saying? Like you're either gonna overcome them or you're gonna be one of those people that make a bunch of excuses about it. Like I ain't gonna be one of those people. You're gonna hear it in my music that I ain't gonna be one of those people. You know what I'm saying? So like, let me give you a little tidbits on how I'm getting it done so you can do it too.
Live shows, but what can the fans expect from you?
November 2nd is the date I got right now. Fingers crossed. You know what I'm saying? I don't got no pushbacks, no delays, and nothing like that. So I'm definitely working on the EP right now. To kind of get that out, man. Fall season is kind of really my season, you know what I'm saying? So I'm looking to drop something early fall for everybody. And then once that's done, it's gonna be shows, man. I'm gonna be trying to book some shows. A lot of it's probably gonna be local, right here in the Columbia, South Carolina area. I do be up in Charlotte performing a lot too. So between Columbia and Charlotte, I'm definitely gonna have some shows to try to close out this last quarter of the year, man. And of course, as soon as I get the information and all that, I'm gonna drop it on my social medias. That's Marlo Foreign. That's my regular page, MarloFarian, kind of like Rastafarian, but Marlo Farian. That's like my regular everyday life page. You kind of get to see what I do, you know what I'm saying, outside the music. My music page is Marlo G3, Marlog, and then the number three. But everything is all linked together, you know what I'm saying? YouTube, Instagram, all that stuff is all linked on my Instagram. So, I mean, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, all that is all linked on my Instagram. So just tap in with either Marlo Foreign or Marlo G3, and then you'll have the links to everything else there.
People to take away from Marlo G.
Like represents you. You know what I'm saying? Like don't feel like you gotta switch it up. Don't feel like you gotta ride no kind of wave, you know, in order to be successful. Like just kind of figure out your voice and then just speak from that perspective, man. Because I think a lot of time we lose perspective because people want to follow the formula of what works. And we're doing a disservice not only to yourself, because you ain't becoming your true self when you try to be something else, but you're also doing a disservice to the people because there's somebody out there that want to hear your specific point of view, and they'll never get a chance to hear it if you never put it out. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of what I'm all about, man. I'm just trying to make sure that I be as me as possible because I know me doing that is going to help somebody. And who knows what that person is going to end up becoming, who they're going to end up influencing, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I cut that off if I'm not being myself 100%. So that's what I try to champion, man. Like, yo, just be you. Work on being the best version of you every day. Figure out who you are. I don't think a lot of times people take the time to actually sit down and learn about themselves. So I'm all about like that aspect of life, bro. Like just figuring out who you are, man. Figuring out what you're good at, and then just doing that because the world need that. That's what I'm trying to say, and I'm trying to live it so people can see it, not just hear it in my music.
I worry about that one, so we can keep this junk rolling. But for real though, man, like if you could change one thing in the industry right now, what would it be?
To be successful. And that's number one. And number two, I would change that you got to come ready made in order to be successful. I still feel like artist development is a thing that we can kind of try to get back to. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't necessarily like the fact that you kind of got to come into situations, you know, with a fan base, you know what I'm saying, with like a certain amount of capital, but like, you know, all these type of things already. Because I think it kind of forces you into a lane in order to be successful. I think I would just change that whole narrative that you gotta come ready made. Like come as you are, you know what I'm saying? And then just kind of get the development behind you. Yeah, man, to kind of push you to that next level. Success to me is being able to like, that's a good question, bro. Success for me personally in this music business would be being able to create and not have to worry about if what I'm doing is going to get me the revenues I need in order to keep doing it. Does that make sense? You do want to make money, you know what I'm saying? But I don't want to have to like sacrifice who I am in order to do it. So success for me would be able to make money while doing it my way.
Doing for free. You know what I'm saying? If you already doing it for free and you getting paid from it, that's just a bonus. That's how I be looking at it.
Doing something one way, but somebody along the way told them like, yo, if you're really trying to get to the next level, you got to do it like this. And then like how that passion leaves them once they got to change from how they were doing it to how people tell them they got to do it, you know? And they still create good music, they still create a good product, but it's just like the passion, the soul behind it is different. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, yo, if you creating something, my opinion, bro, if you creating something and it ain't what you ultimate, like it ain't 100% what you wanted it to be, then it's like, is it worth creating? You know what I'm saying? Like, are we getting that best version of you doing it that way, or you just putting something together because you feel like, yo, this is what I got to do in order to get to a certain place, man. And I get, folks got bills, bro. You know what I'm saying? They got responsibilities, things they got to take care of. So I ain't sitting here and telling people, yo, don't do that. I'm just saying I want to create a space or a world, or I want to be in a place where you don't have to, you know? Because a lot of times folks actually like end up sacrificing themselves in order to be successful. And then they sit back and they're like, yo, man, was it worth it? You know what I'm saying? I hate that. I just trying to get to a spot where
If you could, if you had any sacrifice that you said that you have done in this industry right now, coming into the game and along your journey, what would you say one of your biggest sacrifices was?
I definitely had some opportunities, you know what I'm saying, where I could have like kind of like I was going back and I'm talking about, bro, opportunities where I could have kind of jumped shift a little bit, you know what I'm saying, kind of like pivoted and been a little bit more what people felt like my look was. Or you look a certain way, so you should talk about this, or you know what I'm saying, oh, you look a certain way, or the type of area that you living in kind of resonate with this type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? So those type of sacrifice, I definitely sacrificed some opportunities to kind of remain myself. And bro, honestly, man, look, listen, I've been doing this joint for over a decade now, bro, and I'm still doing it. I'm still enjoying. I'm still able to. You know what I'm saying? I still got opportunities that's coming my way. So ultimately, I feel like I made the right choice. You know what I'm saying? Because I ain't never sacrificed on who I was in order to be here. I just lost out on those opportunities because I wasn't willing to. Now, who knows? If I would have took them joints, I probably would have, you know what I'm saying, been further along. But I could live with who I am now, bro. You know what I'm saying? And everything that's coming to me now, like I'm so grateful for, you know what I'm saying? Because I was able to kind of do it my way, you know? So yeah. Like I said, yo, it's your boy Marlo G. You can follow me social media, Marlo G3. That's my music page, Marlo Farm for everything else. Anywhere you stream music at, just look it up. Marlo G, Marlog. Got projects out there, man. Look out for me in November, somewhere around the first, second, third, somewhere around that first weekend in November, man. Got a project that's dropping. I got an EP I'm working on right now. Until then, man, go stream my old stuff. You know what I'm saying? You got any questions, man? I'm easy to get at. Just holla at me. You know what I'm saying? Hit me up on social medias. Follow all my socials, man, and let's get it. I appreciate you having me, bro, for sure. Yes, sir. Respect. Yes, sir.